Hey everybody, it's John here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Fallout 3, and today we are doing the Point Lookout DLC and getting the Bog Walker achievement. So this achievement is going to be to visit every single location in the new DLC. There is going to be a total of 29 locations you have to discover. First one is given to you for free. It's going to be the pier. You get this at the start after leaving the boat. Walk down the pier and then head into this amusement park to grab a few more. This guide will basically be a tour guide of the DLC. You can just literally walk around and fill up the map as you go. Also, if you happen to level up along the way, you can also get the perk, which is the Explorer perk, which gives you every location on the map, so you can just look where to go on your map from there. Other than that, you just have your compass, and you need to go to the triangles that aren't filled out yet and fill up your way. Or you can use this guide and see exactly where I go and what the best course of action is. So once you get to the first right turn in the amusement park, take a right and you can go to the House of Wares. This is the shop in the DLC. This is where you're going to sell all your stuff as well as repair all your guns. But from there, just hop that wall and we're going to tackle the left side first. So go over here. There should be this motel right here. You are going to get attacked by some dogs. I cut out most of the fighting because most of the enemies in this game are a little annoying, but we'll get to that as we go along here. Continue down the road past the motel, and we're going to get all the stuff on the left side. The pier is going to be at the bottom center of the island, so you're going to have to circle the place until you fill out the map. So just going to carefully walk and enjoy all of the scenery. And so this guide is going to be more or less just us walking around the DLC map, and you are going to enjoy my awesome commentary that hopefully won't be too boring. I'll try to keep things as lively as possible, but it is a long walk, as most walks are, but this is what we have to do in adventure games at the start. I like doing these at the start of any map because the fast travel system will allow us to not have to walk later. So if you do all the work now, it will save you a bunch of work later. Anyways, you are going to have a cemetery up here. Careful, you're going to have some ghouls, or ghouls as some people would say. But you have the Feral Ghoul Reaver. Those guys are like the toughest enemy in the game. I swear to God, they take like 1,000,000 shots to kill. And I actually looked it up. Apparently they have like 1100 HP, which is like 4 times as much as the glowing one, which is the second strongest ghoul. Man, those guys, they don't mess around, even on easy difficulty. But anyways, once you manage to take care of them, or run away, as you should probably do. Although they can throw grenades at you, which are like these weird ghoul grenades. Those things will mess you up. There's gonna be like this campsite right here. This is like a medical facility, kind of like in Left 4 Dead. It's like a disaster relief outpost is what it's called. But we're gonna grab that, and then we're gonna head down to the beach. Gonna soak up some rays, even though it is a very foggy day, and is always a foggy day. So just gonna keep heading down here. And if you're wondering what weapon we're using, this is the Terrible Shotgun, which is its name. It's basically a stronger version of the Combat Shotgun, and if you notice in all our Fallout 3 guides, I like running with this thing because this thing is awesome. It will take care of most things in 1 or 2 shots once you're max level, except for those feral ghouls, because apparently they have bulletproof skin or whatever. But just keep heading along the beach here. You'll see an Abomination, who is one of the swamp people enemies, which are a new type of enemy in this DLC. He's going to be hanging around the boat. You can kill him if you want to. He doesn't really have any good stuff on him. But the location we're going to be looking for is going to be over here. Just head towards this pile of swamp trees, and you should get the Dove Delta location. And then we're going to start heading north from here. And we're going completely based on the compass because I use the Explorer perk before downloading the DLC. So if you do that, which most people probably did, you will not be able to use its advantage, but that doesn't matter because you have your compass, and it's a pretty small map, well, especially compared to the main game, because it is DLC, of course. So we're going to head up here and get to this. I think this is a church or a chapel, either that or a mansion, one or the other, but you actually don't visit most of the DLC during your run through the main story. You pretty much stick to the right side. You go to the mansion and talk to the dude, and then you head over here once to go to the bog sanctuary, and then you head back to the right to go to the lighthouse. So it's actually a non-scenic route through the story, so most of this achievement is going to be stuff that you probably won't be using. But it is pretty cool that they add all this extra stuff in that probably no one will ever really play. But you know, you get your money's worth with the DLC. It's what you make out of it. So over here is going to be the Growler Shack. You might fight some fine swamp folk there. Those dudes will mess you up. There's also a bunch of weird, like, dolls hanging around these, like, random trees all over the swamp. It's a pretty interesting map that, unfortunately, doesn't have that many story missions attached to them. But anyways, we're going to make our way over here. You're going to have to head here during the main story. This is the Bog Sanctuary. They make you do some wacky stuff in there for the tribal people. But anyways, from there, we're going to turn around, and we're going to head east now. And if you're wondering what direction I'm going, you can always check the lower left for the compass, obviously. That's probably your best indication on where to go without using the map. Of course, the map isn't so useful because we haven't filled it out yet, so you can always use the fast travel once you go to a location. So if you do get lost, just fast travel to the last points. So just going to keep heading along through here, going to keep hopping through the water because, you know, the radiation is worth the not being able to go around on the land because that takes longer. Just gonna keep jumping around here. Sorry if this commentary is so boring. It is quite the walk everywhere, but this is what we have to do in these Bethesda games. Fill out the map before we can do anything fun and exciting. However, I guess exploring is part of it, as, you know, that's why they make these games, right? It's the exploration, but man, I wish they would put more interesting stuff in this swamp area. Right, we're coming across the next location here. It's like a playground, I believe. I wonder who builds a playground in the middle of the swamp. But you have this rocket ship and a swing set. You have swamp people here protecting it. I guess they're using it as a base. There is a couple of beds in there so you can get some sleep, so you can fill out your health, which is the most efficient way of healing, is using a bed, because stim packs waste stim packs, and going to the doctor costs money. Always get your sleep, and it's really, really, really cool. And that's probably the only real place you can sleep in this DLC. There's no real nice places in the starting area. But anyways, you have a camp right there. Got some more swamp people. That's another location to add. Head down here. You should see this shack in the middle of nowhere with this run over car. Kill these people. And then we're going to continue up northwest. Just going to keep going. Lots of trees and rocks and grass and water because, you know, swampland. So if you're wondering where this DLC takes place, it is in Maryland. So that's going to be another location in Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is in Washington, D.C. First DLC is Anchorage. Then the second DLC is Pittsburgh. Then the third DLC is back in Washington, D.C. And then this DLC is in Maryland. And then 5 is going to be in space. So that's a pretty nice arrangement of places to go. But anyways, you have the Crash Jet site up there. You can grab another one. And we're going to continue our trek east. So on our way, there's going to be a bunch of ghouls coming in and out of the left side of the screen. We're just going to ignore them because you can pretty much outrun most enemies in this game, which is cool because, you know, don't necessarily have to fight everything all the time. You are going to get to your next location right here. This is going to be like one of those detention center kind of areas right there. The Turtle Dove Detention Camp, which is a pretty euphemistic way of saying jail, is detention center. But anyways, from there, we're going to turn around. We're heading south this time, and through more trees and more swampland. Pretty sparsely populated DLC, although it is refreshing since Fallout 3 the base game, is a lot of buildings, and the one big weakness with Fallout 3's map, I think, is there's just rubble everywhere in Washington, D.C., and the game highly relies on you going through the subway system, at least at the beginning, before you unlock locations and can fast travel everywhere. But honestly, like, who enjoys going through the metro? It's really, really labyrinth-like and really easy to get lost. But yeah, so that's the biggest issue, at least with starting Fallout 3. But once you unlock the world, the game becomes really, really fun. But, you know, slow start. But that's most video games, let's be honest. But anyways, going to get another kind of shack area. That's pretty much the only type of buildings in the swamp are these random shacks allotted all over the place. And we're going to head over here. Lots of rundown cars for an area that doesn't have roads. You have the trash heap right here with more random cars that I'm pretty sure no one was able to drive in this town. We're going to head over here, across the river, and you should see a sign right here that says warning. There is a detention center over there. Please do not go towards the fence and harass the prisoners, or detainees as they're euphemistically called. we're gonna keep heading up here, going east now, and basically zigzagging through the islands. There's a dude there, and he's gonna fight that ghoul. Hopefully he'll get it off our backs, because that thing's been chasing us probably like half of the video. So anyways, you have a bridge right here. I'm pretty sure that was there before the apocalypse and didn't wash away in the last 200 some years. But anyways, gonna keep heading north. Another sign right here. Should see an overturned truck. This is going to be the eastern part of the island, so going to grab that. I keep calling it an island, but it's more like a peninsula or like a bay, I guess. Not really sure. But anyways, you should see the church in the background right there, or the cathedral, whatever. I really don't know what the difference is. But just keep along the road, or you can just head towards the ominous-looking building in the distance and grab that location. And this is the right side of the map, which is the kind of cliff side. And it's lots of stuff over here. Lots of ghouls in this graveyard, which we're going to head to next before we actually go to the cathedral. There's also a bunch of mirelurks over the cliffs, but we'll get to those guys soon. Alright, graveyard time. I hope you brought a lot of stim packs and or explosives. You got a lot of ghouls here. As you can see, those ghoul reavers and their ghoul grenades. Not sure where they get those things. I guess they pulled them out of their bodies. They're like organs or like dead body parts that they throw, and they have explosive properties, as you can see right there. Those guys will mess you up. So you can either ignore them, but they do run pretty fast. We're just going to ignore them and head down the cliffside right here. Lots of stuff to see along these cliff sides, but it has the quintessential Bethesda thing where it's impossible to climb up mountains. First thing you want to grab is the Rex Sea Tub. I guess it's like a boat or a submarine. You do come here as part of the main story to meet the bad guy, but, you know, spoilers. You have some swamp lurks here. They're not mire lurks because they don't live in mires. They live in the swamp. Although the regular ones are still called mire lurks, which I'm not sure. I'm not a Fallout zoologist, so someone at Bethesda can answer that probably. So we're going to keep heading this way, and we're going to zip around the coast. Lots of stuff along the coast, but unfortunately you can't get to them so easily from the water anyways, because you have to climb up the cliff, which is like impossible in Fallout. Might be possible in Oblivion or Skyrim. Mountain climbing is way easier in those games, I find. However, in Fallout, yeah, I wouldn't even bother with it, because you just get to these invisible barriers that you can't cross. It's such a problem in Bethesda games. There's actually patches in Skyrim for people to add staircases to mountainsides and bridges and stuff, so it's a really annoying problem. Bethesda needs to stop putting so many mountains in their game, or at least make it easier to climb up them. Because you talk to anyone who's played Bethesda open world games, and they'll tell you that the mountains are the worst enemies. It's stronger than like a Deathclaw combined with the dragon. It's crazy. But anyways, you should see this boat off in the distance, which is like the USS Odysseus, or Ozymandias, which is, I think, like the bad guy from Watchmen. So head over there, and you can get another place. This is also a safe place to hide from the lurks, the swamp, and mire. So here we are, and we can fast travel from here because it's safe now. So we're going to fast travel back to the graveyard, because that'll give us an area on top of this giant hill, and we can work our way back down, because it's easier to go down a mountain than up a mountain, and that's a life lesson these games teach you. So we're gonna head through the graveyard. As you can see, this thing is just covered in ghouls. They are the living dead, and they rose from their grave. So we're gonna head to the actual cathedral, which you do come here for the main story, so keep that in mind. But, you know, I wanted to tackle this achievement as soon as possible, because you actually don't go to most of the locations on the story, and if you go to them early, you can just fast travel during the story and not have to pay attention to nonsense like this, where you're just surrounded in ghouls. And there we go. Got the cathedral, and now we are going to heal up because these guys are giving us trouble. And you can take them out if you want to. Cathedral doesn't open up until you get to the main story, so you can't go inside. However, you can get the fast travel location, which is the whole reason for this, as well as the achievement, because, you know, that's more important. Anyways, from this wall of the cathedral, we are going to head south. You can see the lighthouse in the background right there, which is where you end up in DLC. Floating object right there. Wonder what that is. It's probably a glitch, and Speaking about critics, I always feel people are always quick to judge Fallout 4 for all its glitches when they are quick to excuse Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Skyrim for similar, if not worse, glitches. But that's just me. I never run into a game-breaking glitch in 4, and I run into plenty of them playing through New Vegas and 3. You got the Herzog mine right there. Grab that. Don't drop all the way down because you will have trouble getting back up. Of course, you can just fast travel up, but then we have to go through the graveyard again and deal with all the ghouls if you haven't killed them already. So keep that in mind. So just drop down to the point where you can get the location and then head back up the hill. That's my best advice. Anyways, speaking about those critics, yeah, man, people really don't like Fallout 4 because it has a bunch of game-breaking glitches and. Yeah, and 3 in New Vegas and Skyrim totally didn't, but, that's those people. I had lots of fun playing Fallout 4. That being said, I did have lots of fun playing this game, New Vegas and Skyrim. However, I think people really like to bash Fallout 4, and they're all great games. Honestly, you get probably 1,000 hours of gameplay amongst these 4, and yeah, especially with the Skyrim HD remaster, that's even more gameplay. And of course, we're talking about newer games because I need to fill out this commentary with something because there's so much walking. And yeah, so here we are going to go north to get this last kind of coastal location, the Coastal Grotto right there. And now we're going to fast travel back because we got pretty much everything on the north side. So we're going to go back to the House of Wares. I would normally walk there, however, need to save some time, and this is the most efficient, taking care of one side, fast traveling back to the center, and then doing the other side, instead of walking across the center. So we're going to tackle the lower right side of the island, and this time we're going to head right instead of left after hopping that fence. You can restock up on wares too, like ammo and stim packs and stuff, but if you're doing this at the end of the game, you should already be super overpowered. Except for those feral ghouls, they can still hand you your ass even if you're max level. So keep that in mind. The feral ghoul reavers, that is, not regular feral ghouls. Those guys suck. But you got another kind of shack area right here. Looks like a diner. Grab that. And just gonna zip around here. Gotta go to the front to grab it. Haley's Hardware. So that's a hardware store. That's what passes off as a hardware store in the swamplands. Very interesting. Buy all your hammer and screwdrivers and stuff there. Anyways, gonna head through all this stuff right here. You can see lots of dolls on posts in the background and lots of human heads and stuff. Ritual site here. Yeah, that's probably why. But anyways, you have the mansion right there, which is where we're supposed to be going this whole time because I did this as soon as the DLC started, and the DLC told us to head to that mansion to check it out. On the way is going to be like this campsite area. I think it's called the beachside campsite, which doesn't make any sense because it's nowhere near the beach. There's going to be some more swamp people here. They're camping out, I guess. And we're going to crash the fun. So grab that, and then we can continue on towards the mansion. Nice motorcycle there. Those things are really explosive in this game. If you ever get surrounded by ghouls, just look for a motorcycle and then shoot it a bunch of times, and it'll cause a bigger explosion than a nuclear bomb. Than a mini nuke, actually, which is very surprising. So we are going to grab the mansion right here. So you can grab that Calvert Mansion. You'll find out the significance of this in the near future because, we're supposed to go there next. But, this achievement is more important. The story can wait. Saving the world comes after increasing my gamer score. So, anyways, last thing we need to grab is the lighthouse, which is all the way over there. And this is the last area of the DLC. I'm not going to spoil what exactly happens, but you do come here later. Or not, because there's a decision you can make, I guess, but that's every Fallout quest. So we're going to keep heading over there. It's light swim, but then you have mountain climbing, the two worst things in open world games, swimming and mountain climbing. So swim across and then climb up this rock face. I'm pretty sure there's a path to get up there, but I'm lazy, so I'm just going to try to take the direct route. And of course, we can't get up because something is blocking me there, not sure what. But anyways, probably an invisible Pokemon. So gonna have to get the Sylph Scope from thing. But once you get that location, that should be the last one. Boom, there's the achievement, 40 gamer score. And that's all there is to it.